There are 10 finalists. Each get the ramp all alone for 60 seconds. Only the best of their 3 run scores will count, which encourages a lot of chance taking. Here's more.
Inline Vert. Explain. There are 3 types of tricks that score well on the half pipe. High air, rising above the ramp. Skaters perform spins, flips, and a variety of grabs. Invert, keeping a hand on the coping while flipping upside down. And grind. Not as spectacular, but technical. They gain big points with the judges. To be among the best, a skater will have to execute a variety of all these tricks. Falls will hurt their score, but can be overcome if the rest of the run is clean and creative.
The Viking is set to drop in. They say the Vikings visited Newport more than 1,000 years ago. Well, one of them is back, Rene Hulgreen. Oh, variety of grabs right away, and he's really skying.
And that there is his background, trampolines, gymnastics, roller skating.
He's got the crowd going, listen.
And some of the more technical grinds.
You really can hear him use the metal. Invert.
And that one of my favorite tricks, that was an alley-oop invert. He is just showing a mastery on the half pipe.
Rene Hulgreen. 60 seconds of excitement at the X Games and connecting with the crowd.
Look at this there. He reaches underneath, then grabs with the other arm. Double grab airs are more difficult than your standard airs. And another spinning flip variation. He's so good at them. He's always looking at the coping. And a beautiful grind variation.
The number 6 qualifier, but he could just steal it. In the golden light of a perfect evening, Arlo Eisenberg gets set to drop into the shadows and light up the imagination of aggressive inline skate fans worldwide at the X Games.
Arlo is in total control.
He seems to have such great flow.
And this is not bad vert skating for a guy who's known for his street skating. And there's his tuck backflip. Followed by a 540. That's not a standard 540. He gets his body pretty sideways. And that was called an eggplant. That's an invert on the opposite arm.
5 seconds left for Arlo Eisenberg. Stylish invert to finish it off. Slow, alertness, yet a very relaxed style.
Look at this. That was a half cab to Royale. He took it around backwards, shifted his weight, and on the 540, his body's not in a standard position. It's almost like he gets standing up and rotates around.
Eisenberg with a 66.20 bumped Edwards down to third, yet he still hasn't been able to catch Hulgreen. Tom Fry is the defending champion. He's one of the smoothest, most stylish competitors out there. And you'll see why in the next 60 seconds.
Nice, 540, that's 1.5 full body rotations, 2 in a row. And both very different. He never repeats tricks in a run.
Now watch Fry go to work on the coping as you hear the chassis of the skate on the steel.
You notice Tom's airing both directions. This is what always impresses the judges. He's spinning both directions, and he's airing both directions.
the escalator. One foot and combination there.
That was a unity grind. And another, that was a switch unity up the escalator.
More tricks, more variation. This is why Tom Fry is a champion.
Watch the control this guy has on the coping. May not look beautiful, but it's extremely difficult. Tom's always in control. Here's a unity. Legs crossed. Maintains control.
Harder to stay on top than to get there. This guy has done both. Tom Fry, Rene, Hulgreen, and Arlo Eisenberg 1, 2, 3 after the first run. Fry is up for this one.
It showcases some of the most modern cities and spectacular seacoasts in the world. With a climate like California, Australia's 19 million citizens have a perfect place to live and play. They have lifeguard competitions, excel in international cricket, and of course have homegrown Aussie rules football. But Aussies also love aggressive inline skating. Over 1 million skaters and growing every year.
It's a sport that has been embraced by the Australians because it involves activity and it's outdoors. And Australians love outdoor activities. I've been bringing skates in since 1991-92. The market size is about 450,000 skates brought into the country every year. The market that we entered, we doubled our sales from 1992 to 1996.
You'll find skate parks by the sea, in the country, and even in the cities next to mainstream sports. And unlike the U.S., liability laws put the burden on the skater, not the skate park.
We just have them lying around and you skate them at your own risk to enjoy yourself. And if you hurt yourself, you go home, you go to the doctor, you do whatever you have to do, but you don't sue the place because then you're not going to be able to go there next month because they're going to knock the place down.
Now, I never really thought about it until I did go to America, what, 2 years, 3 years ago, whatever it was. And we had to sign waivers to get into everywhere. And I couldn't believe it. We're like, what? What's going on here?
What's going on in Australia is an explosion of young skaters embracing aggressive inline skating.
Aussie in the house.
We saw it last year when the Australians, led by Tom Fry, swept the vert competition, and Matt Salerno came out of nowhere to take the street.
The Australian skating scene is probably the most progressive in the world. It's pure. Australian skating is pure and it's from the heart.
While the top skaters have access to top equipment, the lack of native companies mean high costs back home for American skates. But new skates are old, Australian kids find a way to do the sport they love, meaning there's a new wave of stars on the way, right in keeping with the Aussie attitude.
We're competitive by nature, though, so you put a challenge there, and you'll find a little group all of a sudden turn a game into a sport, and a sport into a business, I suppose. And I suppose we're arrogant enough to basically think that we can compete against the world.
And at the X Games, they have.
They don't have the kind of liability suits in Australia that they do in the U.S., and as a result, there are an awful lot of ramps available to the populace. Maybe that's why the Aussies have become such a world power in inline. Oh, it's time for the Vikings. Rene Hulgreen, the flag bearer for Denmark. Second place after the first run, so he knows he's in medal position, and now he can really let it rip. Totally uninhibited by the prospect of not doing well. He knows he's close to the score, and he's going to stand up.
Judges looking for style, creativity, difficulty, and consistency. Consistency in the second run seems to be playing a big part. Nice topside goal.
Hulgreen has improved as much as any skater year to year. Last year he was middle of the pack. Now he's among the elite. How's that for points? Trying to check the skate while he was on the coping. Wow.
He can do flips anywhere. Even if he does them right at the coping, he always gets the feedback below him.
Rene Hulgreen turning it on for the crowd.
Jack, look at how diverse this guy can skate. This is a topside sole. Complete control. It's called a topside. And over the platform. And here, this is an old school trick. Fast plant to disaster and back in.
When you peg a 70 plus in your first run, you can really let it rip. He's got nothing to lose as they only count the best of your 3-run score. With all the different tricks and terminology, it can be a little bit intimidating, but just pay attention, you're going to catch on fast.
Nike presents Get a Clue, the X Games glossary. Skating or landing, there's nothing false about a fakie. It's backwards at its best. But arch your back, grab your foot and lean way back, and it's a Gumby. Try an invert, upside down with your hand on the coping. And sliding those skates along the coping puts you in a grind. Think you've got the gist? Try a McTwist, upside down and spinning 540 degrees. Now, you've got a clue.
Well, the king is not dead. Long live the king. Tom Fry is still on top. Figuratively and most literally. He's in the lead after the first run. Nobody's been able to touch his score. Maybe he can better it right here in the second.
And right off the bat, he does a 540 and somehow miraculously ends up on the exact opposite side of the ramp.
Off the escalator, one-footed. He's throwing in technical merit that we just haven't seen from anybody else in his career.
And that was a switch 360.
Ouch, took a hard fall. Fry takes a beater, but he's got time left. This guy's a true professional. He's a promoter of the sport, and he's going to give the fans his 60 seconds worth.
And he's doing tricks even on his way up the ramp.
By the way, he's got one layer of cotton between himself and the masonite. That had to hurt.
Nice disaster to topside.
You're watching the Tom Fry Show at the X Games.
On the replay, a one-footed topside sole grind up the escalator, making it even more difficult.
It's just in. It's good. Tom Fry's first run is the best we've seen so far. Rene Hulgreen got within 0.2 of a point in his second run, but he's still in second place. Writing a little piece of aggressive inline skating history at the X Games. Consider that until last year's X Games, Chris Edwards never had lost in the vert competition. He was the standard by which all vert skaters were measured. Tom Fry won last year. He is in first place again this year, and now he is the standard. Last chance for the man in the white skates. Chris Edwards' best effort so far is 64.40. He needs to beat Tom Fry's 72.20. He needs 72.21 to take the lead at the X Games. And he is jacked.
He is all over the ramp using the entire thing. That was a McTwist.
Tremendous amount of speed. Can he keep it together?
There's his 720.
Low landing. Nice grind.
Chris saving his best run for last.
Really putting it all together. Beautiful stall. 20 seconds to go. Yeah! Escalator.
And at the Pop-Tart, very difficult invert. Chris made that trick up.
Is he back on top? That's Matt Salerno, injured. Would love to be competing against this.
That's a look-back air. Grabbing his leg, pulling it back. Here's a nice grind up on the sole of his foot. And all the way up the escalator. Very nice. That is not an easy trick.
Chris Edwards moves into third place. His score not quite good enough to get to the top. And then again, it's hard to put a number on Art. You see the grind plates of the skaters. Well, some of the most scrutinized elements of the routines are the coping tricks. They have evolved from the basic to the complex. Mark, take us through a few.
One of the most basic grinds you'll find on the half pipe, sliding between the middle of the wheels on the frame, front side or back side, and also on the boot. This is a standard sole grind, leaning over the coping. A little more difficult, however, is when skaters get on the sides of their boots. And when they cross their legs, like this. This is called a unity grind. Very difficult because you don't want to trip, you don't want to cross your legs and then fall on yourself. And here, combinations, some of the most difficult things you'll find.
Rene Hulgreen can do no worse than the silver at the 1996 X Games. He has been Mr. Excitement tonight.
Notice his airs. He always waits to the last possible moment before he turns around. He is on fire.
His personality is somewhat of a guy who's out of control. Well, he can do that and succeed. Here, he's got nothing to lose.
Wow. He is totally in control. Very nice grind. Oh, there's your topside sole with 360. The only guy to be doing that trick out here.
He's looking at the crowd. He's looking at the clock. He's wondering where all the oxygen went.
Use those last seconds.
This could be radical.
Oh, my goodness.
What the heck? Sometimes it's as much fun to watch a slugger strike out, trying to hit one out of the stadium, not just over the fence. Tom Fry loves it.
I couldn't even tell you what the name of this is. Nice flip with the grab in it, and he lands right below the coping.
Now, what was this?
And this, spinning, twisting, flipping, and spinning and twisting again.
He may not have landed the final trick, but he has landed himself in first place with an astounding 75.80. Rene Hulgreen, the leader. Last one out. Remember to turn off the lights. But this place has full power electricity right now. Tom Fry led after the first round, led after the second round. Rene Hulgreen has put up the score of the night, and Fry has to have one of the best vert ramp runs of his life to repeat as X Games champion.
And he's off to a good start. Airing both directions right off the bat.
A little bit of a stumble. One would think that he's got the coping tricks advantage over Hulgreen, but he doesn't have the same kind of elevation, and his legs look a little bit wobbly.
It's just
something for Fry, and that could be it. This could be over. Rene Hulgreen may just have won it. Fry needs something miraculous in the final 15 seconds. This has not been his best run of the night. Only the best run score will count. Tom Fry, very good. But very good probably is not going to get it done. American Chris Edwards takes bronze, Australian Tom Fry the silver, and Denmark's Rene Hulgreen wins the gold. Got to be a little bit nutty to win this event. No one's nuttier than Hulgreen.